I got black, I got white, what you want? Hop outside a ghost and hop up in a fan, I know I'm about to blow, whoa, whoa, I ain't done. They try to take my flow, I take the ass for ransom. I know that I'm gone, they see me blowing up, now they say they want some. I got 2 twin Glocks, turn you to a dancer. I see 2 twin ops, leave them on a banner. And I got 2 thick thoughts, wanna link the.
Welcome everyone, thank you for clicking on this video. The intro clips that you just saw was from Jiu Jitsu Con in Las Vegas in November of 2021. This is the adult tournament that goes on the week of Masters Worlds at the Las Vegas Convention Center. It's an awesome atmosphere to compete in. There's free seminars, vendors, team booths, and a bunch of stuff to do. I got second place that day in the purple belt lightweight division. Today I wanted to do a breakdown of my second match against a checkmat competitor, so shout out to you, Eric, if you're watching this. Hopefully we can get into a little bit of a guard study and try to figure out what I'm thinking during these positions and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I don't claim to be an expert or know everything about the positions that we're gonna go over. This is just a way for me to look at my own jiu-jitsu and try to learn something from it, and hopefully by watching this you guys can learn something as well. Alright, so let's get right into it. Let's full screen this bad boy. I just woke up. Good morning. Alright, so we start off with the typical IBJJF ref. I'm in charge. Follow my orders and come shake my hand. That was a pretty awkward handshake in the beginning. Hold on, let's break that down. My man went in for the bro hug and I went in for the handshake. I pulled away. Little hesitation there. Alright, so usually my game plan is to pull guard. He kind of does like a sideways shuffle step, very Hanato Canuto-esque, and then he tries to flying triangle me here. So let's just talk about this position for a second. IBJJF rules, you need to get a grip before you pull, right? So I can't just sit down here. So I'm just waiting for him to come closer to me. So as soon as he gets anywhere near me, I'm just gonna get a grip and sit to my butt. This reminds me of the beginning of Tommy Langaker versus Hanato Canuto at the Europeans back in 2018 or 2019. Hanato Canuto tried to jump a flying triangle on Tommy, and Tommy just kept his knees upright in the air and blocked the flying triangle. So you're not going to be susceptible to these attacks if you don't keep your elbow and knee space open. See how my elbow and knee right here is disconnected? This is a bad thing. This is when I'm in trouble. If I'm reaching my arm too high, this is how I've caught people in flying attacks before, is either someone was reaching too high for the grip, or they're sitting with their knees too low in kind of a cross-legged position and their arms are separated from their knees. And I think that this is why people like to play kind of a supine guard on their back than a sit-up guard, because you have those abilities of underhooks and just openings between your elbow and knee space. So as soon as he jumps this flying triangle, you can see that this space is disconnected. So I just start to bring my knees up as high as I can and my feet off the mat, so I can just get something in between me and his legs to stop him from hitting this attack. And now we kind of land in this open guard scenario, almost like a double pull scenario, and this is exactly where Tommy Langaker and Hanato Canuto landed. So I actually DM'd Connor DeAngelis, DC, and I asked him what application he was running to kind of do like the paintbrushes on the breakdown, because I wanted to make this video, and he just answered me right now. So shout out to DC, thank you for the tips. I'm definitely gonna use this for the next video that we're making. So I'm just gonna come back to right here. Okay, so now that he pressures up into me, it's almost as if he kind of double ankle sweat me here, because his legs are on top of mine, so his hips are higher than mine. So if I'm lazy with my legs here and he tries to come up, he can almost get into like a mounted position here. So I need to keep my knees higher so I can try to enter into like a single leg X. I use my knees in between, still on the inside, to push into him. Now what does this do? I can build up to my shoulder here and have some space to swim my leg back to the inside. If he's gonna fall over, which he's not gonna do, but if he falls over, I can take a sweep. He's gonna push back into me now. My left foot just swam on the inside. I had one foot on the inside, my left was on the out, and I pushed and swam back in. And now when I come up, I have 2 feet on the inside. It's like almost like a butterfly position, but realistically I'm trying to get to an X or a single leg X and get under him. So here he tries to threaten me with a loop choke, and I'm just pushing on his armpit here to clear this choke, and we break free. Now he has accepted the top position. It's his turn to pass, and now we're playing guard. So the first thing that I do is throw my right leg over the top right there. So when I throw my leg over the top of my own arm, number one, I'm balling up and I'm continuously closing my right elbow down to my hip. This throws in kind of like a lasso hook without a sleeve grip. And now the grip that was up here on his tricep can start to slide down to try to get a sleeve grip. And if I can get this sleeve grip, I can play lasso. But usually the people will pull their arm out. So see how he yanked his arm back here? As soon as I threw my right leg over and I started to slide down his arm, he yanks his arm back. And now that he yanks his arm back, now I'm just in like a traditional open guard scenario with him on his knee. So his right foot is forward, so I start to attack the De La Riva on his right side. So again, this is just deciphering between which open guards we're gonna play depending on what reaction they give us. So over here, if he were to stay kind of hunkered down with his upper body leaning forward, then I'm gonna be playing an upper body guard such as lasso or spider. But considering I tried to go down his arm and he pulls his arms back, and now look how postured his upper body is, but his leg is right here in front of me. So this is when I need to get a good angle and start to play De La Riva guard or whatever guard he's playing me lower body. So I grab the collar so I can stay attached to him and continuously break his posture, because if he starts to stand this leg up, then I need to break his posture or else he's gonna be super high. So I grab this collar and I swim my foot to the inside of his bicep. This is like a collar sleeve kind of frame here, where it's not a spider grip because I don't have a sleeve, but I can still kind of maintain pressure on his arm and almost follow his arm around with my foot on his bicep. Now that I'm playing the De La Riva on my left side, he steps his leg close to me. So now both legs are close to me. Usually you see this reaction when he stuffs my leg. If he were to stuff my non-De La Riva leg in between his legs, now he's in like a headquarters position. I'd be more in trouble. But I still have my other foot on the outside and he stepped close to me. Normally when this happens and their legs are super close together, I'd like to cross my legs on the outside of his legs and threaten an overhead sweep. It happened pretty fast and I switched to play De La Riva on the other side. My foot was on the bicep. Let's just go back here. This foot is pressuring into me. My De La Riva hook was starting to pop out of the other side, and we're gonna watch the switch. Boom. He's going to immediately throw a knee slice to the far side across my body. And this was a good move on his part because he caught an underhook in the transition. Before, when I was playing my foot up, I was maintaining control or at least just following this arm. But here, he manages to shoot his arm into that space, which serves as an underhook for him. And now he posts out wide and he's diving his knee across my body in this direction and trying to knee slide the far side. Luckily, I was able to pull my left knee to my chest. So I'm almost hugging my own leg here, very balled up so his knee has nowhere to go. And now that rotates me, I'm gonna kind of pop out of the back door. So right here, you can see that I see his back and I'm gonna just start to do a regular De La Riva knockdown, go for the pant grip and invert through for a berimbolo here. He tries to push my heel like down towards his hip so he can scoot out and re-berimbolo me. But he just stays super far away from me. I should have jumped my shoulder in close. As soon as I felt my foot coming undone, I kind of just bailed and it was a failed bolo attempt. But I knew that since I was playing guard, I could just kind of lay back down and go back to my guard. So off this failed bolo attempt, he comes up and he pulls my ankle in. You can see my heels to the ceiling and my foot is down. So this is gonna be really hard for him to ankle lock me. So he sits down and now I just have a 2-on-1 on his leg. So I'm pulling a gable grip behind his knee to try to get his knee bent and towards my rib cage area. And now I can throw my foot over the top of his knee and get that matrix hook. So I attempt to do it here and I attempt to go for the butt grip. He turns in super hard and got a good angle on me, so I just bail. And he continues to attack this ankle lock, which is just not in a good position to finish, so I'm not in any danger here. If he stands up now, I have the ability to kind of just swing my leg under and play an X or a single leg X. So right here he stands and I swing and I go X. Reset in the middle, I have a single leg X with a pant grip, and I think this is where I make a big mistake in the match, but it is the reason why I hit one of the best transitions that I've hit in competition, so mistakes are good sometimes. I start with a single leg X and a pant grip, which is a super ideal position. I am underneath him, I have the ability to off balance him and sweep him super easy, and the score right now is 0-0. So I technically need to put points on the board. I think that it'd be way more advantageous for me to keep the leg up on my shoulder in this position so I can eventually score or go for the back, but for some reason I elect to stuff it and go ankle grip, and I think I just got submission happy and maybe tried to ankle lock him. This I can learn from and just kind of be more patient with the position that I had, because he ends up escaping because I had this grip. As soon as I get the ankle lock, he stands up. I go to block this shin so I can knock him down, double feet under, knocking him down. I go for the ankle lock and he stands up and I lose my position because my legs came out. So now we're in open guard. I'm gonna let this transition play real quick. We can watch the whole thing and then we're gonna break down this transition.
Monogram, I got face and they love me. Monogram, I got haters, they hate me. They say that this nigga fucking nerd, wouldn't wanna see me lately. Wonder why that bitch wanna date me. Wonder why they cannot escape me. Wonder why some goofy nigga on the internet richer than them with brace teeth. I'm fuck with you, I'm gon' fuck it up. In the records, I pop with my boss. Say you want me, then you out of luck.
So one of the first things that I think we can break down from this position here is he has double pant grip and I don't really have any grips. What he's gonna try to do here is do a little weak step to my right and then a big throw by to my left. So if we can see here, he takes a small step just to get me to post and react on my right side, and then he takes a large step to his left side and hits a big throw by, which is a good combo for him. I'm comfortable here. As long as I'm balled up, I can spin very quickly and post on him judging by what he steps closest to me. So the first thing that he does on his left side, if we can watch over here, is he's gonna step his right leg close to me. And this is a concept of framing whatever is closest to you. The closest thing to me, this thigh right here, it's not his upper body. If I were to post on his upper body, he can start to drive his knee down towards me. So I'm posting on his leg. If he were to pass with a Toreando and lean his upper body super far forward, very head heavy, that's when I would be posting on his shoulders. But here he's standing more upright and he's stepping across my body, so I need to post on his like thigh and hip area. And now you can see, just because he's going to the right does not mean I need to post on his right side. When he steps out to his left, he takes a ginormous step with his left leg over here. So I'm not gonna try to reach for his left leg just because he stepped on the left side. The first thing that's there is that right knee. So as you can see, immediately my hand is tracking. What's the first thing I see? Boom, the right knee. I'm not looking for his hips anymore. I'm not looking for his far leg. I'm just looking for the first thing I can see. And that's gonna help me try to re-square with him. Now he does a good job of lifting this leg in an upwards motion to keep me and try to stack me. So I'm just gonna decide, instead of trying to re-square with him, I'm gonna try to invert through the other side. So I use my left hand to frame and just help me pull myself through. And now we land in that same position that we were in before. It's just this time I'm closer to the ankle and I'm not closer to the knee, and this makes it harder to chop his leg down and keep it bent. So I just kind of pull my elbow across my body to lift his ankle off the ground and get that bend in his knee. I throw my matrix hook and I come up on my shoulder. So as you can see in this position, I have my matrix hook, I have my pant grip, and I'm up on my shoulder. And all I'm gonna do is just invert through over my neck into like this waiter guard position. And I get my left knee underneath. So I was here, I'm just gonna invert through. He's still trying to grab my ankles, which is I think a mistake here. He should have tried to been addressing these legs. And I get my left knee all the way underneath his leg, which puts me in like a waiter guard position. Now as soon as I'm in this position, I have this butt grip still from the point that I made it. I'm not gonna let this go all the way through this transition. So at first he was sitting on his butt trying to push my hips and scoot his hips away. But now as soon as he starts to turn to his left, he's giving me this big area here where I can spin out and try to come out for his back. So he starts to turn to his right side, and I'm just gonna continue to spin and pull myself in. So my hand went from just holding myself here to, as soon as I spin through, I do like a row and I pull myself in and I get my knee as close as I can. And now I'm gonna start to work up to my shoulder and work up to my hand and start to push. And if he allows me to, I'm gonna pass. Here I'm using this crab ride hook. My knee is putting downward pressure onto his thigh. My foot is putting upward pressure into his calf, and I start to turn towards him. You're gonna see he's just gonna bail to the far side. So when he bails, I start to work my way all the way up, and I can sense that he's going to re-roll to his guard here. I don't wanna hang out in this space because my legs in between his legs can get pulled into 50-50. I'm gonna try to go around the side of his body here and jump through this space to get on the outside. So I'm gonna throw my left leg over as my right leg comes up heel to butt to clear this bottom leg. Again, if I didn't pull my heel to my butt here, if I just jumped my left leg over and kept my right leg hanging out here, he would have been able to pull it into a 50-50 position. So I pull my right heel to my butt and get my toes on the outside of his thigh. So now I'm in a modified leg drag position. I still have that butt grip that I made in the beginning of the transition right here, so I'm just deadlifting this butt grip. If his hips were closer to the mat here, I would be in like a more traditional leg drag and I would try to pressure forward. But since I have his hips elevated here, it's really hard for him to use this outside leg to do a crossover to the opposite side of my body. So I'm just gonna continuously elevate his hips and pull him up. As I pull him up, he works his way up to his feet, and now I'm on the back side of him. So I just throw my seatbelt, and my first hook was already in. I throw my second hook in and we fall down and I land on the back. And the ref resets us in the middle with me on the back with one hook here. That was just a little bit of what I was thinking and why I'm doing these things. I'm not gonna go over the actual finish, I'll show you guys, but we can wait. The actual finish can go into a back attack study that I'm gonna do, and you guys can just see it here. I throw my second hook. So yeah, they reset us in the middle with me on the back. So thank you guys for watching. That was just a little bit of the guard study that I was doing, what I was thinking in these positions. I'll save the actual finish for the back attack study. I'll just show you guys. I'm not going to break it down. Please like if you like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. More content is coming, not just breakdowns. I got a bunch of footage on the way, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. Show me. I'm officially the first loser. $100,000 for the cheapest ring on the nigga, ring to a bitch. I done flew one out to Spain to be in my domain, automobile bitch. Dropped $3 on the ring.